Hello students. Today we will see the modes of governor operation. So this is the I think module 2. In module 2 we get the different governor characteristics there, group characteristics and isochronous characteristics. So this is the basics to study the governor operation, that is the modes of governor operation. Hope you all know by this time what do you mean by governor and how does it works. You just look at this electronic hydraulic governing system, the block diagram what we have shown here. So always the generator is coupled with the your turbines, and which are in turn connected with the governing system or the governor. So what is the main function of the governor? The governor function is to maintain the speed of your turbine. Correct. So why this is used? This is a governing mechanism. Why we have, so as the name suggests, governing, that is controlling. So what exactly we are controlling here? The speed of the turbine we are controlling. So how the speed of the turbine is going to vary here? So you can see from the block diagram, the turbine is coupled to the generator, and generator, it will produce your electricity, and which is given to the load. This is how the setup is. So whenever there is a change in the load, there in the load side, if there is any power change, so that is going to affect the speed of the turbine. Now whenever, again, that is related to the frequency, whenever there is a change in the output power, that is, or the load power, whenever the load is suddenly increased, that is going to affect the frequency. So why we need to study the modes of operation of the governor is why we are controlling the turbine speed, or why we are having the governing mechanism is to control the frequency of operation. Okay. So there we study how what type of governing system we use for the isolated systems, and what type of governing mechanism we use in the interconnected system. That's we'll see it later. So you'll see here, in defining the modes of governor operation, the normal speed is, so just for explanation purpose, we consider the normal speed, that is the full load speed, we consider as 100% speed, and full load we consider it as 100% load. Okay. So in the governing system, this is how the governor operates the speed and load controller. See, you can observe your governor mechanism, that is a signal, it has to be given to the turbine in order to open or close the valve of the turbine. Here you can see, in order to, that means if you want to decrease the speed of the turbine, then I have to reduce the flow of steam over this valve what we have shown in this block diagram. So this opening and closing of the valve, that is how much, what amount of steam is to be given to the turbine in order to control the speed of the turbine, that will be decided by the governor, right? So that is why we have in this block diagram, that is the speed and load controllers, if you see, we have some control logic, because everything must be done automatically. It comes under your automatic generation control. That is how exactly the frequency of the operation is being controlled automatically whenever there is a change in the load or change in the power. See, we have in the upper side, if you see, it is a speed controller. We have in the downside, if you see, it is a load controller. The speed controller, what it does, it controls the speed of the turbine. How does it controls? Again, there is a procedure, or there is a mechanism by which the governor controls the speed. So the already the pre-reference value will be set for either the frequency or the speed of operation. Everything will be having the reference value. Whenever that reference value is varied, whether it increases or decreases, then the speed controller identifies there is a change in the speed, and accordingly it is sensed by the sensor, and that governing, and through the control logic it is given to the valve opening. So in order to reduce the power, we have to reduce the speed of the turbine, hence the flow of the, if it is a steam turbine, then the steam that is made to flow over your turbine, that should be reduced. So that is how, by controlling the valve opening, the speed of the turbine can be controlled. Similarly, the load controller we have, that is load controller means in order to identify the load, that is if there is any change in the load, or if there is any change in the power. So definitely if there is an increase in the load, then the power consumed will be more. If there is a decrease in the load, then the power consumed will be less. So depending on that, so we will be having the pre-referenced value for the power there. So the load controller compares that reference value with the generated power. You can see Pg is the generated power, P reference is a reference power. Continuously it compares that if there is any change, if the P reference value is not equal to the generated value, then it identifies there is a low change in the power output. Hence again through the control logic, that will be given to your valve for the controlling operation. Yeah, so finally we are controlling the power there. By that we can control the frequency of the operation. Okay, so here the major concentration is on the operation of the governor. That is, I told you we have two operations, isochronous operation and droop characteristics, or the droop operation we call it as. So first one is isochronous operation. Isochronous operation means see the isochronous governor curve we have drawn. If you observe here, the x-axis is for the load and y-axis is the frequency variation. You can observe the constant line over there, that is 100% line we have drawn, and no load to full load. If you observe, we have given the values if the load is varied from 50% to 100%. That is what is the meaning of this curve. In isochronous operation, irrespective of the change in the load, the frequency is maintained to its 100% value. That is, what is the meaning of that? So if there is any load change, we have told that, because usually if the frequency concept, so usually what happens whenever there is a change in the your load, that is going to affect the frequency of operation. Okay, but here usually this isochronous operation of the governor, it is used in the isolated system. Here we need to understand what do you mean by isolated system and the interconnected system. So interconnected system means in interconnected system, the multiple number of generators will be working in parallel in order to supply the power. And we know that for the parallel operation of the generators, what is the requirement? That is what we say, the condition for parallelism we already know. The voltage needs to be maintained constant, the phase sequence needs to be maintained constant, the frequency of the generators need to be maintained constant. If there is any variation in the frequency, that is going to affect the parallel operation of the generator. So usually in interconnected system, what happens? There, in order to maintain or in order to share the load, whenever it is not possible to share the load by only one generator, there multiple number of generators will be working together. If there is any load change, that will be maintained through the different generators which are working in parallel. That is an interconnected system. So now it is very important to note there, if there is any fractional value change in the frequency also, that is going to affect the parallel operation of the generators. But here in isolated system, what happens? Only single generator is responsible in sharing the load. Hence in the isolated system, since the load change is controlled by a single generator, the frequency will be maintained constant. There is no deviation in the frequency. If there is any deviation in the frequency also, that is not going to affect much the operation of the generator. Here, by controlling the generation only, we can control the frequency. That is why we say that in the isochronous operation of the governor, from the graph it is clear that if there is a change in the speed, or if there is any change in the load from 50% to 100%, that is from no load to full load. So what do you mean by that? If there is change in the load from 50% to 100% means, even there is a change in the load, the speed of the operation or frequency. Speed means what? Speed or frequency, they are interrelated. If the frequency is increased, if the speed is increased, The frequency is increased. If the speed is decreased, the frequency is going to decrease. But here in isochronous operation, since the single generator is used to share the load, the frequency is maintained constant even there is a change in the load. So just we will look into these sentences. A prime mover and a generator operating in the isochronous mode can maintain the desired output frequency regardless of load changes as long as the prime mover capacity is not exceeded. The mode is normally used in isolated system, that is what I told, or when one generator is required to respond to the load changes. Clear? That is the isochronous operation. Now the droop mode of operation we have. What is the meaning? Again, it is from the word droop we understand droop means it is a reduction. So reduction in something. So what is going to reduce here? The frequency. Just you observe the graph over here, that is a speed droop curve we call it as. So here the x axis is output power in per unit we have considered, then the y axis is say speed or frequency again. So there you if you check, if the output is varied, if the load is varied, that means if the power is varied, if the load is varied, the power is also going to vary. If that is varied, there is a the droop in the frequency, there is a reduction in the frequency that you can observe. You check from the graph, WNL, that is a no load speed, the reference, and if you consider, and the full load speed also if I mention there, no load to full load, see the curve. So how the frequency is going to vary, or the how the speed is drooping or reducing from no load to full load, you can observe it is a droop. That is called as a droop. What is the slope kind of reduction we are observing, that is called as a droop. So from this we can calculate the frequency deviation, the delta f what they have given. So delta f, the corresponding droop in the speed is given by delta w. Okay, the frequency deviation or the speed deviation. So in the per unit, if we calculate, so delta f per unit equal to delta omega per unit. Then r is nothing but the regulation. So regulation is also going to vary if there is a droop in the frequency. So the expression for the regulation is given by delta f divided by delta p. So delta f, where delta f is equal to f minus f naught, that is the standard. F is a standard frequency, f naught is the frequency variation. So because of the load variation, what amount of frequency that is varied, that gives you the frequency deviation. For example, if the standard frequency of operation is 50 Hertz, then the variation in the frequency is 49.5. So 50 minus 49.5, that is 0.5 is the deviation in the frequency. So this is the droop mode of operation. What is given here? Speed droop is a decrease in speed or frequency proportional to the load. Okay. So the figure 6.7b, that is a speed droop curve with change in governor set point. So what we can do here, again we can change the set point of the governor in order to maintain the frequency. You can see that is set point means what the set point we have for the speed, what the set point we have for the frequency, that can be varied from the governor mechanism. Okay, so you can observe this curve. Okay, you can check, see here the steady state speed regulation R is given by R equal to delta W by delta P. It is the slope of the speed droop characteristic. So R is nothing but, you can, so that slope is nothing but a regulation, no doubt about it. So R is nothing but the speed of the droop characteristics what we have. So that gives you the regulation. If a governor with a speed droop is connected to an isolated load, okay, the speed would drop from no load to full load, no load to where is it, no load to full load. The speed would drop from no load to full load. R can also be calculated as delta f divided by delta p. So both is possible, because we know that delta omega is nothing but equal to delta f, that is frequency deviation is nothing but equal to your speed deviation, not the change in the speed. So delta f divided by delta p, since in per unit delta f, that is what delta f equal to delta omega. The set point of governor can be changed so that the nominal speed can be obtained at different outputs as shown in the figure. See, the set point of the governor, if it is changed, the nominal speed can be obtained at different outputs. It is missing the different output system. It is clear in the figure 6.7b what we have shown. According to Indian Electricity Grid Code, the droop of the governor should be set between 3 and 6%. Only these values are allowed. You should remember the droop of the governor, that is whatever we are changing here, the set point we are changing, that should be between 3 and 6%. These are the nominal values. It is already set, it is standard set by your IEGC. So assume now that a prime mover generator in speed droop mode is connected in parallel, that is for the interconnected system, to, oh god, what is this, 2 and, that is as in your isochronous mode in operation. The isochronous unit is known as swing machine. It is called as, you remember, the isochronous unit is known as a swing machine. Now this machine will run at frequency of isochronous unit, that is the frequency will be constant here in isochronous unit, because it is used for the isolated system. The power output of the droop is mainly is determined by its speed set point. So the power output of droop is determined by its speed set point, speed droop and grid frequency. If now the load is increased, power of swing machine will increase to meet the increased load. That is what. While the power of the droop mainly would remain unchanged. Correct? Since its speed set point is not changed, the system can be loaded until load is equal to the combined maximum output of swing machine and the set power output of the swing machine. If the system load exceeds this, then frequency will drop. Correct? In this setup, if we wish to change the portion of the load met by the droop machine, we need to change its speed setting. Okay? So instead, if the load were to be decreased continuously, the isochronous machine's output will be decreased eventually to 0. When the load is equal to the set point load of the droop machine. If the load is further decreased, then the frequency will increase. Okay, so determined by the droop, and the swing machine will be minimized and trip the reverse power. Suppose a generator whose governor is acting in the isochronous mode is connected to the utility. Its set point will not be exactly same as grid frequency. Therefore, its prime mover may be driven either to the power or into reverse power. So you need to understand this concept properly in order to solve the problem. Okay, that is why I have discussed this isochronous and droop mechanism. So wherein such problems will be asked for the examination. Okay, so in the next session we will try to solve some problems.